I'm back at you guys again with another Sister Wives video because you guys really seem to be enjoying them. Let me know if I'm overdoing it. Are you done with the Sister Wives, or do you guys want to hear more of my thoughts and opinions about the stuff that comes out? Let me know in the comments. But I'm doing this because Gwendolyn Brown, who is Kody and Christine Brown's daughter, has been doing reactions to the most recent season of Sister Wives, and some of the tea that she spills in these reactions, I just feel like we haven't seen anything like this before. Like those of us that have watched Sister Wives, where like the kids are at these ages now where they're adults and they're able to speak for themselves and say what they've been thinking and feeling the entire time. I really love Gwendolyn Brown. Like, she seems so sweet, and I've said this before in a previous video, but when she comes out and makes comments about her father or Robin or whoever that she has an issue with that she's speaking about, she does it in a way that I feel like is the nicest way anybody could say, like, I don't like you. I think really what it is that she's able to sit there and say what she doesn't like about somebody, or just straight up say, I don't like them, but then also, if she understands where they're coming from at times, be able to say nice things about them as well. It is clear she's got issues with her dad. Very clear. It's been clear before this one I'm about to talk about. And it's obviously clear that she's not a fan of Robin. But in this most recent reaction that she did, she said some things that I found to be very interesting. So in the episode that she's reacting to, it's the one where Truly walked in on Christine talking about how they were moving, and that's how she found out that they were moving and that they were getting a divorce. Well, a polygamist divorce, because there wasn't actually a real, legal marriage there. But she hears Christine say that they're getting a divorce. Now, Kody gets mad that Christine told Truly everything that was happening, which I think was extremely unfair, and Gwendolyn in her reaction expressed she thought it was unfair too.
I need to tell Truly I'm leaving her dad, so I need to talk to Kody, but she needs to know sooner rather than later. So I don't want it to accidentally slip. Isabel and Gwendolyn know. I want her to see us as a team.
I don't know how I feel about that. So I've been basically avoiding telling her. First of all, I need to start taking her with me and maybe have her for a few days at a time.
Okay, what's good? He's like being active in her life now.
I would love it if Kody took Truly for a few days. If that's something, I would love him to have a great relationship with all of my kids.
Here's the thing, when people
He said, I'm going to give you a relationship with me as your father. For once.
She needs to be told.
Yeah, it's not crap I want her to have to deal with at 10 years old.
I know, 11, but she's a smart kid, and
He did not just get her age wrong.
is gonna realize something. So we'll wait on Truly. I mean, in the end, I'm still not going to tell Truly. Kody is not ready to tell Truly. And I want to play nice, and I want to play fair.
That's fair, but it's so important to tell her. Oh, the longer they delay, I feel like the worse her reaction's gonna be.
Here's the thing. She makes a decision, and she wants me to answer right now. I'm not ready to make a decision about that with Truly, and I would prefer not to tell
I get
her.
it. It's fair that he doesn't want to tell her because he's like afraid that he wants to like protect her and stuff. But she needs to know eventually.
It should have been discussed with her prior to this, because yeah, it sucks you're telling her that she's moving and that you guys are getting a divorce, but you can't avoid it because it's happening. So it's better to pull the band-aid off sooner rather than later, because she's gonna find out. And it being prolonged because Kody didn't want her to know is the reason why she walked in on it being talked about. Like, she found out in the way that she did because of Kody. If anything, it was Kody's fault.
So McKelty called me right as I was walking down the stairs into the kitchen. And I said, yeah, I'm excited to move. And then I heard a gasp. When I looked behind me, and there was Truly. So I sat Truly down, and I told her, she's in tears, and she's like, well, can I just go to my room? And I said, well, there's more. And she goes, are you and Dad getting divorced?
I think it might have been a safer conversation for her to just have with my mom rather than also with my father.
And her little face was so heartbroken. It was already done, and already a done deal. And so I just said, you know what? Have you noticed anything really that different between Dad and I? Have you noticed?
Good point.
She sets Truly up with, well, Dad's never here anyway, right?
But is she wrong though?
So if my relationship is bad with my younger children, it's not always my fault.
It is.
It's that I haven't had a mother who has been willing to actually help that.
It's not fair of him to blame it on my mom when he's the one that's not showing up. I'm probably the worst one in the situation because I complained all the time about how my dad hadn't showed up. Like whenever he would mention anything about Noelle not recognizing him or feeling different, I would always be like, well, you're not here ever, so it's definitely not my mom. It was most likely, if anybody was feeding information to her, it was probably me.
That is the episode she's reacting to, and there are clips where Kody is talking about how he's upset that Christine has been talking about things and allegedly stirring things up to get truly upset at Kody, her dad. Gwendolyn says in the live that it was her who was doing that if anything, that it was Gwendolyn who was in the house, you know, making comments about her dad never being there around Truly, and that it wasn't Christine at all. But either way, it's neither one of them's faults because you're never there. So the reality of it is that you're not an available father or husband. So of course people are going to say that about you because that's exactly how it is. But she literally said in this clip that she doesn't like her dad. Like, she straight up says she doesn't like him. And I don't think I've heard her say this yet. Maybe she said it on her Patreon. I'm not sure. But like, this is a huge statement that she made about not liking him, and that she is probably the one that stirred things up more than anybody because she doesn't like her own dad. And I don't blame her.
Kody doesn't feel like he can be away from the little kids at Robin's house more than 2 or 3 days at a time.
2 or 3 days? That's excessive. Well, not excessive. They should actually be able to be around their father as often as they want, but there are a ton of us that are like missing out on it, and we're missing out on it.
Anytime I spend time with Isabel, I spend most of my time doing a lot of work to draw her out of herself. I don't know what it is. I don't think that I'm that big an ogre. You excited?
I'm excited, yeah.
I'm sorry I can't
So
go.
it seems like he understands that she doesn't like being around him. She's uncomfortable around him.
Yeah,
Because your daddy didn't do this for you.
No.
Yeah, she seems very awkward around him.
I think Isabel is probably hurt that I didn't go. But there are people depending on me, more than just Isabel.
She's probably hurt that you weren't very active in her childhood.
I would have done it if we wouldn't have had the COVID thing. But once again, Christine sees this as an excuse.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
She has their ear. I do not have their ear.
That's not true. We were the ones that convinced my mom, or not really convinced her, but we probably dislike our father more than she does.
She also points out how, you know, Isabel seemed really awkward around her dad. And it's a very sad dynamic. Like, he failed with his kids so bad. They have to have a lot of hurt feelings deep inside because they're seeing him be the dad that they needed to Robin's kids just because he likes Robin more than the rest of the wives. It should have never come down on any of these kids because he liked a wife more. The way that he felt about the women he was married to shouldn't have changed how he behaved towards the children that he had with them. I just feel like these men, they're like, you know what, I want like 1 million wives and I want 1 million kids, but they never once think about how they're going to take care of them other than monetarily ways, like money. Like, they don't think about how they're going to give them the emotional support that they need and the physical time that they need. It's just not a healthy dynamic. It's just not. Like, you can't give your kids your all when you have 1 million of them with multiple different wives. You can't have a relationship with them and they're not getting a parent that they really need. And then you can't sit there on TV and be like, oh, they're talking crap about me to my kids. Like, Truly, unfortunately, is going to grow up and remember her dad wasn't there. She's not going to have a lot of memories with him because he wasn't there. And it won't be because Gwendolyn said something or because Christine said something. It will be because of him, his self only.
Does your little sister Truly have her room at Robin's house already, and how often does she really see her dad? So about half the time that my mom and Truly visited, I feel like they went over to Robin's house. And I think most of the time they filmed her at Robin's house to prove that, like, my dad had some sort of relationship with her, but it wasn't really as often as it seems. If they included all of the content, she definitely hung out with me and with mom and other siblings a lot more often. And I don't think she had a room at Robin's house. I don't think it'd be necessary for her to have a room, but maybe she like slept with the kids or something.
Now, another thing that Gwendolyn said in this video was that she had gotten into an argument with her dad, and she made a comment about not liking the president at the time. And apparently when she did this, Kody got extremely upset at her and started throwing one of his Kody fits, and he told her that she was a bad daughter.
A lot of the time I'd be like, I don't even want to be around him. He doesn't want to be around me. One time he and I got in the weirdest argument about like Andrew Jackson or something. I was like, yeah, weird president, weird guy. I think he did the Trail of Tears or something. I don't remember. Whoever it was that did the Trail of Tears. I was like, that was a really messed up guy. And Dad was like, you're a terrible daughter. Why would you say that? He was an amazing president. And I was like, okay. And then he yelled at me and ran out. And so I start crying. I'm like, why doesn't my father love me? And my mom just sitting there, like, probably after already having decided that she's going to divorce him. And she was like, yeah, I'm sorry that you don't have a really good relationship with your father.
That seems like a bit of an extreme thing to say to your child because she disagrees with you. Number one, you should want your kids to exercise their opinions and to explore how they think and feel about things. To like yell at her, you're a bad daughter, and to storm out of the house over the Oregon Trail. Like, imagine the types of things that he was saying to them over other stuff, if that's what he said about that. I feel like Kody's just going to continue to get mad at everybody in the family for saying how they feel about him instead of looking inward. And that's what bothers me, because I feel like he could look within and make some changes within himself and work on being a better dad. But instead, he just chooses to deflect, point fingers at everybody else, and not do any, self-searching to be a better human, a better dad to his kids. And guess who's lacking because of that? His children. And I'm sure this could build up some resentment towards Robin's kids, and it's not their fault, but I mean, how could it not? Because they're getting the dad that all these other kids always wanted. I really hope that Gwendolyn is getting some peace within herself, being able to finally speak about this stuff and see that she's so supported. I hope it's like therapeutic to her to open up about this stuff with her dad, because I know that it has to be really hard when you see your family on TV portrayed one way like it was in the earlier seasons. Behind closed doors, like they're not there for you like they need to be. I just feel really bad for these kids. If you guys want more videos on Sister Wives, leave me a comment down below and let me know, and I will definitely do that. And don't forget, I have members content where I post extra videos for you guys. So if you guys would like to join and become a supporter of this channel, definitely click that join button. If you don't want to do that, you being a subscriber or clicking thumbs up, leaving a comment, whatever you guys would like to do is enough for me. Thank you guys so much for being here, and I will see you guys soon for another video.